Homemade tarot cards is the subject this morning. Our reading is from the book Homemade Magic. Oh, that's the telephone. Excuse me for just a moment. Talk amongst yourselves. Hello? I didn't want to buy that. I'm going to take the phone off the hook. Anyway, here's an example of just the line drawings from Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. We're going to be talking about that today. This is how I gave the cards to Constance to color them. And this is what they look like when I took them to Miami to pitch the deck to U.S. Game System. Anyway, it's been a crazy time. Last night we found out that after 25 years of being here at our little duplex home in Costa Mesa, that the property managers aren't going to renew. They want, understandably, they want to get a lot more money for the rental property. So we've got 60 days to find a new place to live. And so we're just absolutely crazy. And we'll be house hunting for the next couple of weeks probably. Hopefully it won't be longer than that. Anyway, so that's that. If there was ever a time that you ever considered being a Patreon patron of the DuQuette and our magical arts, now would be an absolutely wonderful time to become a Patreon patron. So if you would like to consider that, please go just to Patreon and Lon Milo DuQuette, and you'll see how you can do that. And any amount is welcome, and there's suggested amounts, but you're not tied to those suggested amounts. So anyway, we have to go house hunting here pretty soon, and we have to go to the store also. We're between store runs. So here we are, chapter 15, Homemade Tarot Cards. One could say that the tarot is the DNA of the Kabbalah. Properly decoded, it reveals not only the secrets of the Kabbalah, but also the mysteries of all other Kabbalah-based systems. By learning tarot properly, you simultaneously master the fundamentals of Kabbalah, astrology, and ceremonial magic. And that was from the little booklet by Constance and Lon DuQuette, Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. In chapter 13, I discussed how, whenever I'm away from home, I can construct a homemade magic temple using tarot cards. The cards that I carry with me, indeed the cards that I use exclusively for personal and professional readings, are my own homemade ones from Tarot of Ceremonial Magic. I designed and penned the line drawings for each of the 78 cards, and Constance painted them in watercolor. Together we wrote the little booklet that accompanies the deck. It was quite literally a family project. First of all, I did not set out to create a tarot deck. Really, I truly am too lazy to even consider that. I had to accidentally fumble into it. Please don't think that I had a goal to do a tarot deck. But I digress. I simply wanted to make a handmade set of flashcards for Monday night magic class. I accidentally found myself a job as an office manager for a stockbroker in San Juan Capistrano. How I secured that position is a story in itself. My boss was a wonderful and brilliant and successful man whose clients were wealthy Orange County physicians. He was usually out of the office, and most days I only saw him in the morning and the late afternoon. I had plenty of typing, filing, and marketing duties to complete, but I also had quite a lot of time each day to study, write, or get ready for class. At the time, we were studying the magical tables and correspondences in Crowley's Liber 777. I was preparing to discuss a particular set of tables that demonstrate how certain traditional Kabbalistic angels and demons are assigned to the 36 decans of the zodiac in the same way that the 36 small cards of the tarot are assigned to those same decans. I thought it'd be nice if each member could have 36 blank note cards so that we, as a class, could transfer the information from the tables to the cards. We started by labeling the 36 small cards by degrees, or decans, of the zodiac. 0 to 10 degrees Aries, 10 to 20 degrees Aries, 20 to 30 degrees Aries, 0 to 10 degrees Taurus, 10 degrees to 20 degrees Taurus, 20 to 30 degrees Taurus, etc., etc., etc. We then added the approximate 10 days of the year that those decans represent. We used red ink for the cards for the fire signs of the zodiac, blue for the water signs, yellow for the air signs, and green for the earth signs. After the first class, each member had a nice, neat stack of cards representing the entire zodiacal year. The following week, we added more information from the tables of correspondences, specifically the Kabbalistic angels of the Shemhamferish and the Goetic demons assigned to the decans of the zodiac. We carefully placed the names of these angels and the names and seals of the demons on the appropriate cards. And that I just ran off on a copy machine at work. The next week, we added the planetary assignments to each of our 36 decan cards, plus their tarot card suit and number. See, only then did they turn into tarot cards. Beginning at 0 degrees Leo and working our way around the wheel of the year, we assigned planets to the decans in the repeating order of Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Sun, Venus, Mercury, and Moon. Finally, Mars was repeated at the last wintertime decan of Pisces and the first springtime decan of Aries. And when you do that, it all comes out even. The note card project provided our class members with a wonderful introduction to the fundamentals of astrology. But we needed to move on to other subjects. I, however, was hooked. I knew that if I proceeded, I would have the makings of a unique and magical tarot deck. I bought a case of 4x6-inch unruled white index cards and used my spare time at work experimenting with formatting images for the cards. This was late 1980s, before the availability of more advanced computer imaging. So I had to do everything with plastic transparencies, copy machine, and a word processor. Eventually, I included appropriate images and information from Enochian magic and the Yi Ching, where those systems correspond to tarot. The preliminary work took 2 years to complete. The original art consisted of my 78 uncolored line drawings printed one at a time with a standard office copy machine on ordinary white index card. And that's one of those cards just printed on a copy machine. And the copy machine allowed me to actually print the back too. Okay. In order to be Kabbalistically correct, each trump and the cards of each suit had to conform to a strict color scale. Each zodiac sign, each planet, each elemental suit, and each number of each suit vibrate at a specific frequency on the color spectrum. And all these factors needed to be considered when selecting and blending the colors of any given card. I was frankly burned out on the project and did not feel up to the task. Constance, on the other hand, is a fantastic artist. Throughout our years of marriage, she has amused us all with her ink drawings, pencil sketches, and crayon and watercolor paintings, and now she's moved to acrylic. Her eyes for color is precise and tasteful. She did not, however, jump up to volunteer to help with this project. Then I got an early evening call from a dear friend and former boss, Rick Potter, who just passed away this year. He was planning to drive to Miami to attend the American Booksellers Association trade show, which is now called Book Expo America, and asked if I'd like to go along for the ride. Okay, remember, we're in Southern California, and Miami isn't. He was leaving in 10 days. It would be the perfect opportunity for me to pitch my tarot deck. But an uncolored tarot deck would not be very impressive, no matter how correct it was. Later that night, after dinner conversation went something like this. Oh, by the way, Rick called today and said he's driving his new Mercedes to Miami to attend the Booksellers Convention. He wants to know if I'd like to ride along, maybe spend a couple days in New Orleans on the way. He said we'd only be gone 20 days or so. My publishers would really like it if I could spend a little time at their booths. Constance, while not overly enthusiastic about such an adventure, was nonetheless generally supportive of the whole idea. I added, while I'm there, I could pitch the tarot cards to U.S. game systems and maybe get Wiser to publish my new book on the cards. And she looked at me funny. What book? The one I'll write if they publish the cards. But you haven't colored the cards yet. The next part took real magical finesse. I thought I'd give you a couple of color scale charts and let you take a crack at coloring the cards. It should be a piece of cake for you. All 78 cards? That's right. How long do I have? 10 days. Well, 9. That'd be about 9 cards a day. Yeah, if you did a couple tonight, it'd be more like 8. The clocks stopped ticking. The crickets stopped chirping. The dog stopped panting. And I stopped breathing. Okay, show me the charts. Bless her heart, she did it, too, right on time. Rick and I drove from Newport Beach, California to Miami, and I successfully pitched and inked a card deal with U.S. Game System and a book deal with Wiser. The moment I arrived back home, Constance and I set to work on writing the little book that accompanies a card, including her wise and patently un-lawn-like insights on the divinatory meanings of each of the cards of our homemade tarot deck. Our tarot cards are much like our marriage. Beautiful in some areas and not so beautiful in others. Homemade and magically correct. The rest of the chapter is that chart. I looked for a printout of that chart. It's just a color chart from like 777. Anyway, that's it for today. Tomorrow, Chapter 16, Do I Have to Get a Job? Please wish us luck in finding the ideal and reasonable house that we'll move and spend the rest of our dotage in. Please make it be happy. And you continue to be good to yourself and be good to each other. Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. Love is the law, love and do well. See you tomorrow.